Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Avinash. Hello Toastmasters and guests, good evening once again.
Apart from that little angel, is there anybody under 30 among us? No? No? Well, no matter how much we would love to, the fact is that we are not.
But why did I ask? I asked because I wanted to underline that whatever I'm going to tell you now happened in our lifetime. And when something happens in our lifetime, it becomes more real. We can connect to it better. So in our lifetime, around 30 years back, a child was born. What a blessed experience, isn't it? But then in this case, it was not. Because the child was born without any legs, nothing under the torso. Isn't it a cruel blow that the parents have a new child, and rather than thinking about toys for the child, they think about maybe a wheelchair perhaps? But in this case, they couldn't even do that because the child couldn't operate even a wheelchair. It had no hands. A child born without arms, without legs. What a cruel blow. If you want to think about a hard fall, you could hardly think of a harder one. Flash forward to today. The child survived all the odds and has become a young man. And he thanks God more than you and I do. And he thanks God for what? Precisely for his condition. And not only that, he gives motivational speeches that people like you and I go to listen to. Nick Vujicic is the name. It's an epitome of the harder you fall, the higher you bounce. And it's not only Nick, there have been so many people in history who have challenged the adversities. They have rose up to the challenge when they met with adversities. And they are even better than those who don't have those adversities. Do you think I'm stretching it too much? Do you think I'm exaggerating? Just a pep talk? Just a pumping up session? No. This is true. It happens. I don't claim that it happens always, but it does happen. Actually, the more challenges you have, the better you emerge. And if it doesn't happen always, at least we should make sure that it happens in our case, because it can happen, and there are reasons why it happens. Firstly, you'll agree that necessity is the mother of invention. By the same token, if it is not necessary to use our own talents, we don't tend to use them and we don't develop them. So having a problem actually prompts us to use our talents, our gifts, what strengths we have. And we should make use of challenges like that. The fact is, if you even think about evolution, about adaptation, what is it? Basically, it is a result of rising up to challenge, overcoming adversities, winning the difficult situations. That's what adaptation is, that's what evolution is. Believe me, if man was given all that he needed and all the protection that he needed, he would have happily still been the primitive being that he was. It's only because there were challenges, there were problems that he had to overcome, because there were falls on the way, that we rose as a human race. Not only that, as a matter of fact, if you think, if there are no challenges, even the talents that man has, he would forget those. Let me give you a small example. Making small calculations. An illiterate woman sitting at the side of the road selling vegetables can make some calculations mentally which the graduates of today cannot do that. We did those calculations ourselves mentally, but this generation has lost that talent. Why? Calculators are available. there's no challenge, there's no fall, where will the bounce come from? Secondly, you'll agree that man, in the face of a challenge, does better. I suspect it's because of his ego. If you challenge him, he will do better. He will get a more surge of energy. You only have to channel that energy in the right way to rise up to the challenge. Sometimes you would also realize that Newton's law doesn't apply only to physics. There is a reaction to every action. It applies everywhere. You call it a cause and effect, you call it a flight or fright reaction. In our case, we only have to make sure that it is going to be a fight reaction rather than flight reaction. And adversity will pump us up to fight rather than to flee. And history has so many examples. You can think of Edison, you can think of Bach, you can think of Lincoln. These guys became big mainly because they had adversities, so much so that there are people who would say, oh, we didn't have those adversities that those guys had, as if it's being discriminated against because they didn't have adversity. Adversities can be turned into so good. I talked about Nick Vujicic in the beginning. He managed it. What truth does it bear out? Simple, that it can be done, and he has done it. Drop a ball on the floor. It might break or bounce. Yeah, it can break. If it is made of glass, it will break. If it is made of ivory, it will bounce. If you meet with a challenge, if you have a fall, a hard fall, will you break or will you rise? Well, the choice is yours, but if you ask me, God has meant us to be ivory, not glass. So let's just be that. And when we have a fall, let's rise. And the harder we fall, the higher we should rise. Thank you.
Speaker. Today the best speaker is Toastmaster Avinash.